I want the job. Don't ever go to the task with the director if you want to work. Because as an actor, you have to be able to take direction. It's not your call to, like, well, I'm going to do it this way. Like, well, then you're never going to work. That's just what it is. So, yeah, I felt weird. I gave it to them, and of course they didn't go that way. I still got the gig, though.
They were just wanting to get a kick out of you.
I think so. It's like, hey, bears from Louisiana. It's like, yeah. Have you ever seen any Cajun aliens?
All Cajuns were aliens.
That would be magical.
All Cajuns were aliens? No. Maybe that's what District 9 is about.
Oh, them Cajuns.
So basically, you're given this little piece of information here. The character's name, their age, a picture of them, a little bit about them, and then like 5, 6 lines, maybe even less, showing a range of emotion.
Right, the lines are random. They're not
Yeah.
in succession with anything. They're just different levels, different tones throughout the show. A softer line, an angry line, some reacts, things like that.
Yeah, and you'll simply read the line completely out of context, and then after that first take, the director may already know what's going on in the episode, and they can fill you in. It's like, and once you know that, then you're like, oh, so the way I should say no is completely different than what I gave on the first read, because there's a million different ways you can say no, no, no. If you just see that line of dialogue with no and in quotes, it's like, and nothing else around it, what do you have to go on? And that is the eternal struggle we as actors for anime, video games, cartoons go on. I mean, well with cartoons, they do script reads, table reads, and all that. That's all cool. We don't have the benefit of that. Production timelines are tight. The turnaround is like, all right, Wendy Powell, you're going to direct this show, and you have 3 days to cast it. And we're going to start, and we're going to need like the first 3 DVD volumes completely in the can by, whatever. Something ludicrous. Yeah. They're like, oh my God, okay, well, and you're freaked out. Like,
that was your impression of me? Oh my God!
I just make everyone sound like Strong Bad. Oh no! Okay, so people are going to try out for Holy crap! When I call Wendy, I always call her Wendy Powell. So Wendy Powell, right on. So yeah, we're always given very little information. When we go in the booth to record, we don't know what's going to happen that day. All we know is we have to be there at 11 a.m., maybe for an hour or 2. And once we get there, get the small talk out of the way. Oh, it's great to see you. Okay, cool. All right, in this episode, your character's going to get their butt kicked. Oh, okay, that's great. And then we'll preview the line in Japanese, and then you'll dub it line by line. But there's no dubbing actually in the audition process.
Right, you're not actually having to flat match or do any sort of dubbing. There's no video at all. So, well, Todd Happcorn uses some in his auditions.
Yeah.
But he just uses it with sound, and you don't ever get to hear the voice or anything, but it's just like music in the background, and he uses it so that you can see the character physically move, so you can get kind of but he spends a lot of time on that, and he's the only director I know that does that.
And that's good. That's rare. They don't do that in LA.
He's special. I love Todd Happcorn.
Yeah. So we got some Naruto characters here, and what we're gonna do is just take some volunteers. Not yet. Volunteer. I've got 4 characters, and I will pass these out and give you a few moments to look over them. And then you're gonna come up here, and I'm gonna hand you the mic, and we're gonna have you basically perform it, and we'll critique it, have you do it a second time, and then move on to the next person. And that's pretty typical of what happens when a new person comes in, and so you're in and you're out. So kind of work those nerves out of your system and be confident and take your craft seriously. It's like, no, I'm not going to go in there because I'm a fan of the show and I love anime. I'm going in there because I'm an actor and I want to impress this director, so they will call me in and use me. And remember, if you don't get cast, it's not because you were bad or anything, necessarily. You may have just not been what they thought would be appropriate for the role. They may love your audition and save it for the future reference and call you in 6 months or a year later for a completely different show, and then you'll get a call out of the blue, like, what? oh yeah, that director wants you to read for this show. Like, okay. And you moved on with your life, and now you're, working at Starbucks and going, but I gave up voice acting. It's like, no, you got to stick to it. This is not a craft you can just like do occasionally, even though you only work occasionally. You really have to just be 100% committed to this thing, totally. It's like any other form of acting. All the actors are waiters and working customer service and retail and other side jobs because acting just doesn't pay enough to really support yourself unless you're a big celebrity, unless you're big and established. And the same is true in voice acting. It's not as competitive, and it's voice actors kind of support each other. So it's easier to network and get your name passed around, but you really got to take your craft seriously. So during all that downtime when you're not getting called in to audition, take classes. Get involved in your school plays and community theaters, or come from where I did. Go into radio. You can learn about mic technique and different things. Take dialects, work on accents, work on
not having an accent.
Yeah, work on losing that accent. She loses it at a drop of a hat. You do?
I sometimes do.
You sometimes do. You don't hear him be talking like that now, do you?
Sometimes you do, but no.
Maybe I'll take one. It's like, all right, that little pipsqueak. Like, no, that's a little too Texas. I've had that too. Chris Sabat's called me on it when doing the DBZ narrator. It's like, that was a little too Texas twang. Next time. Yeah, get her done. Get her done, Goku. So,
basically what he's saying is when you're not working, you're still working. You're working on improving. And
always.
That's what
Yeah, even though we're all human and it's okay to get depressed about it, I was like, they're not calling me in because I'm going through that rut right now. The past year has just been awful. The economy is awful for everyone. It's affected every industry. I audition all the time. I just don't work that much.
Aww.
That's just the truth of it.
But that will change.
That will change.
This
You have
too
to-
shall pass.
Yes. You have to believe that it's going to be all right. Believe it!
Believe it! I believe it! Yeah! Great!
Believe in yourself.
Yeah, believe in yourself. Believe in the communist. Believe in... Yeah. So,
We only have like 30 minutes left.
we can do this. We got 4 characters. We're going to do this. All right. I would like a female volunteer for Naruto. We're going to stay in the whole Naruto ring. Okay?
Yay!
The script here.
I think you've done this.
Maybe. Well, not at a convention, but theater.
Not a convention? Okay. All right, Orochimaru. That's a dude, by the way.
We got dudes.
We got dudes. Yay, dudes. All right, dude. Sakura. Sakura, yes. Can you come forward, please?